Okay, here we
Yeah.
go. So I have some slides to share, and we also have Nicole here, who is our in-house Mongolia expert, which is so helpful. She
Expert's a strong word, but yes.
So we'll walk through our presentation and feel free to interrupt anytime with questions. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Give me just a second. Do you have an infinity mirror?
Huh?
Okay, let's try that again. So sorry, I usually have a couple monitors. I'm on the road. Hold, please.
No
Anybody know
worries.
any good jokes?
I know.
Or,
That's okay. This happens at work all the time.
right?
You have multiple monitors and then you go somewhere else and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing or how I'm doing it, but here we
Yes.
are. Not a
Okay,
It's
let
always a
problem at
me.
struggle
all.
every time.
I know.
Do you want me to do it from my computer?
I was gonna say, let me try one more time and then, um,
I literally just hosted one of these calls for one of our other destinations
oh,
like
you're
a
the
few hours
best.
ago. So it's fresh.
Yes,
But yes,
you
it's a
are the
struggle every time.
Okay, here we go. All right. Can you all see that okay?
Yes. Well,
Great.
it just says
Just
click to exit full screen. So maybe
Oh,
it's trying to present elsewhere. I can see that.
yeah.
Yay, birthday.
now is it full screen? You can see it?
It says click to exit full
I,
screen.
yeah.
Oh no, foiled. Okay. All right, Nicole, I'll have you share. I'm flummoxed.
Okay. Let's see here. Me.
S- So what's the
No.
closest you all have been to Mongolia?
China.
China, probably?
China?
Yeah, I think.
Oh, excellent.
I have
Can-
no idea. I'm really bad with geography.
Yeah.
I know, I'm like, let me look at a map real quick.
Any chance you can make me? Oh, I might be able to do it here. I just need to be reclaim host. One second. One moment. And now I should be able to share. And okay, can you guys see my screen?
Nope.
Do I need
Mine's
it for my
mine's circling. Oh,
There
now
we
I can. Yes.
go.
Yes.
fantastic?
Very
Okay,
good.
here we go. Let me move my. Okay, so Julie, they mentioned the agenda here. Do you want me to go over it or?
Yeah, basically, we'll talk about what to expect, how to get ready, what to bring, and then we'll go over the day by day. And because we're such a small group, usually we save the question and answers for the very end, but feel free to interrupt whenever you have a question.
Cool. That sounds great.
I can't see everyone's face because when I'm sharing my screen, it minimizes what I can see. So you can verbally tap me if for some reason I can't see you, like try and get my attention, just as a note. Uh, fantastic. Okay. So for expectation setting, something with Glow Adventures is they are designed to take you outside your comfort zone. That is where the magic happens. And in Mongolia specifically, while a lot of our adventures are like especially physically challenging, things like that. This can be more challenging for some people because it's so culturally different from the States and things like that. So there are going to be times when you will be taken outside your comfort zone, even if you aren't doing maybe something physically challenging. By staying in local accommodations, you are having a very unique experience, but therefore it can also up that challenge as far as being outside of your comfort zone. So something to just be aware of going in on that with Mongolia. It can kind of surprise you sometimes.
I do,
So
though, if you go back that picture, I think if all of us end up being in that picture with that woman, we're all probably going to pass out and cry. So I think we're all in a good place.
fantastic. I love
Yeah.
that for you guys. There's going to be, there should be an opportunity for just about all of you to have a photo of just like that. So I
I
think you should
cannot
be,
wait.
it'll be the ultimate birthday adventure for you guys.
Yes.
Um, so fantastic. So things to keep in mind, it is okay to be comfortably uncomfortable. If you are more than just comfortably uncomfortable, if you're very uncomfortable, then you can always speak out. You'll have someone there always with you that can speak English, that's a translator. So there's always a way, like if something is more than just comfortably uncomfortable, make sure that you use your communication um, opportunities because you don't have like a woe trip leader there on this specific adventure. Just make sure that you speak out if there is anything that needs to be adjusted. In Mongolia, the weather changes a lot. You are going from the Gobi Desert to Ulaanbaatar, all the way out to the Altai Mountains. So there's a lot of variety on this adventure, and therefore the weather will change. So when you are traveling on this trip, I would recommend packing light, packing diverse items that can be multi-purpose, that can be layered, just so that you are always prepared. Um, Creature comforts look different in different parts of the world. Obviously, this is going to be quite different. There's not nearly as much variety as far as food options. When you are not in Ulaanbaatar, you're not going to have access to charging your devices. You're going to be in local accommodations, much like the picture on the left side of the screen here. So it is going to be very different, but you are going to have some really magical experiences. On that dietary restriction option, I think that most of you don't have too much, but there were a few that were gluten free or lactose free. Something we would recommend on an adventure like this is when you are not, if you're arriving early or ever not with your translator, that it's nice to have like a card written with those dietary restrictions on it in the local language because a lot of people are not going to speak English. So especially if it's a severe allergy, just go on Google Translate, type up like I have an allergy to gluten, print it out so you can easily hand that to someone in a restaurant, one of these local family members when you're visiting them. Just make sure you're advocating for yourself. Uh,
And
there
our local
are,
partners will send a restaurant list for vegan and vegetarian options as well in the capital city. And we'll start a WhatsApp chat so that communication is really easy. Does everyone have access to WhatsApp or you've used it before? Okay, great. Easy peasy. We'll get that set up after today.
Cool.
fantastic. Great. So on that whole weather bit, like these photos, obviously it's not your adventure, but these are all taken on the same trip. So you can expect you've got tank top weather, we've got cold layers, we've got a sandstorm. So just be prepared.
Is there,
We
is
have a
there,
pack. Oh yeah.
oh, sorry. Is there going to be snow, do you think?
There often is in the Altai, not usually something that you are like walking around and like dealing with as far as, but like on the mountains when you're doing like a day hike, there might be patches of snow. You won't be there during like a snow season, but you
Right.
are at high elevation points. And so there's often snow like in the passes that hasn't melted, but not something that you're going to be like in the trenches of
Okay.
snow type of
Okay.
experience.
Okay.
Um,
And
yeah, similar to
Ulaanbaatar
like
is
what you're seeing in the
known.
middle photo.
I was gonna say Ulaanbaatar is known as the coldest capital in the world, and so I think it'll be a little bit of a shock to the system going from summertime in North America to a high elevation cold city. So just get ready for that. It'll probably feel really refreshing after some muggy heat.
Okay.
And it is also still like their summer, so hopefully it won't be too cold. But yes, fantastic. So a little expectation setting here. On to training. The more you train, the more fun you'll have. Something to keep in mind, especially on the earlier part of this adventure, is that the biking is, as you can see here, the terrain. It's sandy. It can be a bit of a like the bumpy terrain, like when it's a dirt road, how it can get washed out a little bit. So when you are training for biking, it is something to keep in mind. This is not biking on a smooth paved road. This is kind of the terrain you can expect if you are biking in the Gobi. That said, this is while the biking is optional, most of the biking is done, 30 minutes to an hour at a time. So if that's not something you're into, if you do this biking and you only do it for 30 minutes an hour, that's great. So just something to note when you are training that the biking is going to be maybe a little bit different than what you can train for at home on the gym at the gym on the stationary bike, but using those muscles will help. And then also for the hiking, it is not a set path. You are going out with the local family. You're going out with potentially the eagle huntress. So you don't know what the terrain looks like. There's no set itinerary as far as the hikes go, but we do recommend training for about up to 9 miles a day. Once again, that would be optional if you do the first few days of hiking, the first day of hiking, and you decide you want to sit out a day. That is an option because it is day hiking out of the local family, the Altai family's home. So if that is something you wanted to sit and just be at peace while everyone else is hiking, that would be an option for you as well. And because this is a private hike, you can always say, yesterday was too long. We'd like to go out for only 3 hours tomorrow. And that is definitely an option for you guys. So once again, just make sure you are communicating. But we do recommend that you are training so that it is as fun and as comfortable as possible for you. Make sure you're
Yes.
riding. Oh, yes.
Do you think that boots are absolutely mandatory? Like if you're used to hiking in like Gore-Tex, let's just say cross trainers kind of, like is that going to be okay? Or do you say you got to bring boots?
I would say that it's often waterlogged areas. So
Okay.
you are potentially going to be wanting the higher coverage of
Okay.
something, not like a low trainer or like a trail runner, usually. You could
Okay.
also bring some gaiters or something like that. Not everywhere is going to be waterlogged, but it has been done in the past where there will be, you'll be stepping through some marshy areas.
Okay.
Um,
Sounds good.
okay.
Thank you.
Of course. Um, yes. So this adventure, as I mentioned before, is not um, super hard hiking. It's not super aggressive biking. It is all optional, but we do recommend just training as much as you can in the next. You only have a few weeks left, so just making sure that you are going to be comfortable being out and being active, just because you don't want to miss any opportunities. But and make sure you are training with your pack and your boots and all that on, so you're not showing up with gear that hasn't been tested yet. Um, Anywho, for packing, make sure you know how to use all your gear and that you've broken it in. This is especially important for things that like your waterproof layers, your rain jacket. If you don't know that your rain jacket is waterproof, put it on, get into a shower, and double test it. We do have that packing list that is accessible from our website. It's accessible in your Adventure Hub. One thing I would just recommend, or one to bring up, is in the packing list, you will see that it says water filtration system is optional, because that's normally someone on our WOA team is there with something as a backup. You will need some sort of water treatment option for your adventure, because you are filling out of local like water filling stations in these accommodations. You would want something, whether that's a steri pen, whether that's like chlorine tablets, anything like along those lines. If one of you has a steri pen, you can just pass that all around, take turns with it. You're a small group, but just something to look into. You will need some sort of water filtration, or you will want some sort of water filtration. The water is not bad, but you don't want to risk any sort of parasites that your stomach is not used to while you are traveling. This is not the place to get traveler's diarrhea if you can help it. So make sure you have something to treat the water. So I
And
just wanted
then,
to call attention to
yeah,
that.
Britt and Alicia and Doug and Alex, since you aren't on, both Nikki and I have Steri pens. So if you guys
Okay.
don't, we can bring those.
Okay.
Perfect.
Perfect.
And I would
Look at
recommend
that.
just one backup option that doesn't rely on batteries, just in case. Like
Okay, cool.
maybe little iodine tablets or like Nicole said, little chlorine.
Okay, cool.
Just
Yeah, we
just
can do
something
that.
just in case.
Okay.
Yeah, like when you're not in town, if the battery goes out. So yeah, like even if you just bought like a packet on Amazon for like 100 tablets or something like that, that would last you until you could get back and find a battery or something like that. Be
Okay,
a good
cool.
backup. Fantastic. So yes, just make sure you're reviewing the packing list. Everything's on there for a reason. When you are headed out into the Altai Mountains, you are taking a small domestic flight. They do have weight restrictions on that, so I do recommend that you have a maybe a test pack that you can do before that you get to that part. And basically, when you're doing this test pack going out to the Altai, I would basically just say like limit your, toiletries can stay behind in Ulaanbaatar, and I would limit like, one of each type of layer, so that you have the ability to be as warm as you need, cool off as much as you need, but have that option. The sorry that my brain, it's 4 in the morning here right now, and my
Oh
brain is
boy.
not having a good time coming up with words. Words are hard. Um, but the variability of all those different layers. So sometimes people are always wondering, like, what do I pack? I can only take so much stuff with me on the domestic flight. I would just basically say, like, bring one of everything kind of a thing. And anything like toiletries, extra clothes, like you only need like 1 or 2 pairs of pants. You're only out there for a few days. So
And
bring all the
those
essentials
weight
and layers.
and those weight limits, in case you haven't seen them yet in your adventure hubs, it's 15 kilograms for your checked luggage and 5 kilograms for your hand luggage, your carry-on.
Yes. And 15 kilograms for your checked luggage is quite a decent amount of weight. Just so if you're panicking, you're like, that doesn't sound like much. That's actually like a 90-liter duffel worth of stuff. So like you should be
Mm.
well in place for a 4-day detour.
Yeah, should be fine. There is a cost of if you go over, they charge like per kilo over. So just something to be aware of if you're a heavy packer.
Yes, absolutely. Wear your heaviest layer on your body while you're flying. Something we learned when we used to do the Everest Base Camp trip. Put your batteries, your portable batteries in your pocket in in your jacket that you're wearing if you're limited on space. Just those kind of little hacks.
Mm.
Fantastic. So if anyone, does anyone have any questions? Has anyone reviewed the packing list and has any specific questions regarding the items on there?
Yeah, do you think the 3 shirts is enough? Doesn't seem like enough.
Three shirts. You know what, and for some people it's not. That is totally fine. When it comes to like the clothes, use your best judgment. We're mostly more concerned about like the gear, the technical gear. So if you are someone who wants a new shirt every day or wants a new shirt every other day, you know what, go high on those numbers. That's totally fine. Because you have a home base of like being in a hotel in Ulaanbaatar where you can check luggage between your excursions. You have that option of, like bring two shirts for the Gobi, bring 2 shirts for the Altai, and then a few to change into and have in and around Ulaanbaatar. So yes, lots of variety. When you are having multiple nights in town, where you would be able to explore and things like that. So make sure you have town clothes. And I would say we wouldn't be counting like those kinds of shirts in your like bring 3 shirts. That's more like adventure shirts, but also use your judgment. If you are someone who likes clean clothes, that's fantastic. Um, Usually we're a dirtier group of people, so 3 is enough. But looks like someone else is trying to join the call. Fantastic. There's
Um,
someone in here.
I've got a question.
So,
How I saw
yes.
sleeping bag and sleeping mat are both on there. How many days will we have like the accommodations like you showed in a couple pictures ago versus like we're sleeping on the ground, something like that? I don't care what the
So
answer is, I just want to know. You know what I mean? Like whatever it is.
yes. most nights you actually should be in an accommodation like that. You will still want your sleeping bag. For most of those nights, you are in those types of accommodations, especially when you're out in the Altai. Most of the feedback is, as Julie mentioned, it is quite cold of a country. And so most people have found that they did want their sleeping bag in many of the nights that they were in those GARE accommodations. So I would say chances are you're not on the floor almost ever. Sleeping pad and sleeping bag are to make the GARE accommodations more comfortable for you. There are sometimes linens provided, but usually not warm enough. And oftentimes these beds are a firmer than comfortable material. So that's more so for your comfort in that regard than like for sleeping on the ground.
Okay.
So the sleeping pad, if you're someone who can sleep anywhere, is comfortable anywhere, I would say sleeping pad is not as necessary. The sleeping bag you would want for the warmth. So
Okay. And that's just for the mountain part or also for the desert part?
it's going to most likely in the desert, there's always a chance you could end up in a tent, but almost always you are still in the GARE accommodations because the tents and the GAREs are in the same, like you would set up in the same general location as where those GAREs are located because you need access to the communal toilet setup. And all of those types of water filling stations, they're like these shower houses. So it's not like a really rough setup when you're like in the Gobi. It's like when you go to a campground and there's the campground toilets. It's like a setup like that. So you would be staying in the same area. And so most likely you'll be in Gares almost all of the nights. I would say tents are unlikely and more of a backup in case. So yes, most nights on one of those like pallet type beds.
Thank you.
Gobi, Altai, yes, of course. And then the hotels in Ulaanbaatar will be the comforts that you're used to from home. Fantastic. Okay. Then I think from there, Julie, the itinerary.
Perfect.
I can just click for you since my
That
screen
would be
sharing is the one
great.
that's working?
That would be
Fantastic.
great. Okay, so like we say, the weather is subject to change often. So just get ready. Always have that raincoat easily accessible and your day packer on hand. So everyone is arriving, it looks like on July 9th. And so you'll be picked up at the airport by someone from our local team with a sign that says "Whoa." And I wasn't sure because I didn't see it yet in your adventure hubs. Have you all booked a pre-trip hotel room yet? Or still figuring that out?
I do not think we have, so we will have to figure that out.
Okay, that's actually great because the hotel that you're staying at as a group is called the Puma Imperial, and you can book on booking.com.
Perfect.
So that way you don't have to change hotels. And I'll get that updated in your adventure hubs as well, because that was a
Okay.
recent update. Okay, so then July 10th, hopefully you can shake off the jet lag and go check out the horse racing. But because this is your private custom trip, if you all are exhausted and you don't want to go to the horse racing, no problem. You can explore the city. The horse racing is out. What's that?
Nothing. She was talking to somebody.
Oh, oh. So the horse racing is a bit outside the city, and so it'll be a fun full day. And then you'll come back and have a welcome dinner and stay at the hotel. And then Nicole will
Okay.
slide forward one. Okay, and then days 2 through 3, we're celebrating and getting to watch I practice pronouncing this, Natum. It's like a curtailed end of the word, Natum, opening ceremony. So the deal with that is the tickets go on sale just a couple of days before the opening ceremony, and it's a lottery system. So it's not guaranteed that we'll get tickets, but there's a pretty good chance. And if for some reason we can't get tickets, then we'll have fun alternative activities around the festival and around the city. The opening ceremony is a lot of really interesting pageantry and speeches. So your local guide will be with you. We'll be translating everything. And then July 12th, it's up to you all if you want to do a little bit of both with more NATAM festivals and exploration of the city, or all city exploration or all festival. We can kind of play it by ear to see how everyone's feeling. And then I did this note on the previous slide and this slide. Please plan on bringing your own packed lunch today. So that's for the first 3 days. And it's because the food situation at the festival is like kiosks of street meat. And so for anybody with dietary restrictions, it's tough. So like I said, we'll have a list of vegan and vegetarian options or alternative restaurants around town, and we can go get to-go lunches or shop at grocery stores for snacks and stuff. And then we'll stay at the same hotel. Any questions so far?
Nope.
Great. Okay, and then we head to the Gobi. So you get to explore on bike and Fergans. And for those that aren't bike riders, like Nicole said, no problem. You can jump in the vans and have a really nice road trip. I will say some of the feedback we've gotten before is people like wish they had been a little bit better prepared for the road trip aspect of it. So, if you want to load up like podcasts or road trip type games to entertain yourself, it's a beautiful scenery, but we're trying to cover a lot of it in a couple days. And so it is a bit of time in the vans. So just get ready for that. And then also practically speaking, like if you get motion sick, make sure you have those medications on hand or you advocate for yourself to sit in the front, anything like that to make your journey more pleasant. Playlists, sing-alongs, karaoke. You guys look like a fun group.
Sick.
Okay, and then you head back to the capital and you have a free evening to explore and then get ready and packed and everything for the domestic flight the next morning, which is pretty early. So the flight leaves around 6 a.m. And so we'll have like a 4 a.m. pickup. So Nicole will jump forward one. Okay, so about a 4 a.m. pickup. The airport is about half an hour, 45 minutes away from the hotel, and then jump on the plane at 6 a.m. It's a short flight, just 2 hours, and then a bit of a drive time to get to the homestay. And I just love looking at this van because I want one for myself to road trip around the States in.
Yes, this is what you can expect on the interior of your Fergans. So if you are, as you can see, someone will be sitting backwards. Usually they put about 3 people, so you'll likely have 2 Fergans. And so usually there's one person sitting backwards. So I would say if you are someone who gets motion sick, advocate to be not that person, just as a note. Fantastic.
Okay, so then we're in the Altai, and this is when we've added some horseback riding, some cooking lessons, some archery lessons. We get the demonstration with the eagle huntress, so this is when a lot of exciting things are happening. And then also the hiking. And like Nicole said, you don't really know what you're gonna get when you're hiking, but see the stream and the kind of marshy lands around that stream. So we'll be the correct verb I think is traipsing across the landscape, which will be really fun and beautiful and totally uncrowded. It'll just be yours to enjoy. You'll get to see lots of locals out and about on family units. And if you're someone who's like, I'm not a huge hiker, no problem. It doesn't have to be a 9-mile hike. Again, just chatting with your local guide to kind of tailor things to how you all want them. Okay, and then we'll drive down from the mountains to a small town. So you'll see it written and spelled with either a U or an O there. Nicole, how do you pronounce this?
Olgi.
Mm-hmm. And then you'll get to visit a really cool organization that does craft work and learn about the process and get to do some hands-on activities. The drive time is about 5 hours, and then you'll be in another homestay.
You can see this woman, the woman for the homestay here, she teaches how to do all this, and this is how she makes her living, these tapestries, these beautiful tapestries. Anyhow.
Yeah, so save room in your luggage for some cool souvenirs for sure. And then after that last homestay, you'll fly back to the capital. We'll celebrate the trip with a traditional performance with throat singing and dancing, and then have a delicious dinner. The drive time just around the city is about an hour. And then, or sorry, the drive time to the city, and then the flight time back again, 2 hours, and we'll stay back at the same hotel. So, like Nicole mentioned, you can leave all your stuff that you're not taking on the excursion at the hotel. So you can have that sacred pair of clothes for going out or for your international flight.
Extra from your 3 shirts.
Yeah. And then
And then
it's
you
departure day, and breakfast is included that last day. I think everyone submitted their flights. Thanks so much for doing that.
okay, and then I will stop the screen share for any questions and answers. One thing was we are discussing the airport departures. On arrival, you can expect from the airport, it takes about 1 to 2 hours to get from the airport into town. And that is just normal everyday traffic. With the festival, there's a chance that that could be longer. So our partners always recommend, like when you're at the airport, make sure you have like a full water, grab yourself a coffee, something for the road. Make sure you've used the bathroom before you come and find your driver, because you are in the car for a while. But you get to people watch and kind of just get that first cultural experience right out the gates. Um, we will send a final prep email here in this week, with any sort of last minute recommendations, things you need to know, as well. So just know that that will be coming this week as well. Before and then so. Any other questions we can answer for you?
I've got 2 questions.
Yeah.
You suggested a waterproof duffel. Is the duffel going to be in that van that we're in, or is it going to be on top?
It should be in the van traditionally. They're in the back. Um, that doesn't mean it wouldn't get wet. I would say water resistant, not waterproof, should be sufficient. Any valuables we would always recommend keeping in like a dry bag inside that duffel, but it should be inside in the van.
And then I saw something about gifts for our hosts. What might that be if we wanted to bring something like that?
So it can be whatever you want. It is definitely not a mandatory thing. However, it can be culturally custom to give tips to or give gifts or tips to hosts. This would not be every accommodation. So basically, you can ask your translator like when it would be appropriate. I would say there's probably like 3-ish times that on your trip it might be appropriate. It would be basically when you're in someone's home being hosted versus like a professional, like we rent out this gear. So if it's more of a homestay, then that's when those gifts or tips would be appropriate. So usually gifts are small. It would not be recommended for like alcohol, but they would maybe be like a small, like you could bring a game of Uno for the family, or something small that is fun that you can do with them. It could be something that's relative to where you live, that is a like, oh, this area, I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but like, um, I all of a sudden my mind turned blank. But if there's something that's a traditional gift in your area, like where you're from, like
Okay, got it.
I'm
Like
from
a little,
California, and my brain's like, what do we have in California? And
yeah,
everything I'm thinking of is produce, and I'm like, you can't bring produce, so my brain turned off.
yeah, like
Anywho,
any
so if there's
tiny
something like a
packaged
candy,
food,
yes,
or
that's
like
like.
I'm from Colorado, so maybe a little snow globe type thing.
Yes. Yes, it doesn't have to be a high value thing, but it is often it can be appreciated if it's something that can be done with the family, like that you can have an experience together, the games of Yahtzee, Uno, cards, something like that. There are going to be some kids around at some point. So if you have kids and like a little game that's fun for them or something along those lines, you could pack something like that. If you are uncomfortable with the idea of gifting, you could also just plan as a group to tip. Additionally, like have $50 that you like each throw $10 in for each host or something like that. So it's up to you. You don't have to do it. It's just an option. So I would say something small that would be enjoyable for you to teach the host how to use. It could be something for a kitchen. I don't know, but just something practical or fun would be my advice. But yeah, it's not recommended for like alcohol and not usually too much candy. If like where you're from, it has like the traditional gift is like something candy, that would be okay, like in small amounts, but they don't recommend candy because most people in Mongolia don't have easy access to dental care. So they don't encourage like high sugar consumption.
Hmm.
So just as a note. Okay.
And
That's all.
Nicole, double checking it's okay to tip in US dollars.
Yes, you would say, depending like in the Altai, it would be harder for them to exchange that kind of currency. So you could have access to like a bureau de change somewhere in Ulaanbaatar before you're going out to the more remote locations. But yes, they will accept currency in any variety. Eventually, they can exchange it. It has more instant use if it is in local currency, which you can just do in Ulaanbaatar. I'm so sorry, didn't cough like that. Um, but but if all you have is USD, just make sure it's minted in 2009 or more recent. Is free of excessive rips and tears, and you can change it while you are in Mongolia.
And one thing we forgot to mention, but you'll probably get to play with your host families, is a game called Ankle Bones. Has anyone heard of it yet? So traditionally played with actual ankle bones of sheep and goats, but now they have plastic colorful varieties that it
Hmm.
could be used as fortune telling or kind of like a jacks game where you throw it and see how it lands. But I'm really excited for you all to learn it.
Yeah, I want some fortune telling about what my future is.
Oh,
This is what I want.
nice.
Get ready for the best year of your life, birthday girl.
Yeah.
And
So when I went to the doctor, they had recommended that I get a typhoid vaccine. I've had it previously, but it's now like expired, the one that I had, right? Do you guys
Mhm.
recommend we get typhoid or not really need?
Typhoid is recommended for any and all travel, like even if you're going to the
Okay.
UK, it's recommended. And that's just for any sort of like foodborne illnesses. Typhoid is
Yeah.
just a foodborne. So
Hmm.
it's not necessarily something that's like, oh, there's a typhoid outbreak. It's just to protect yourself when you're traveling. So it is not a mandatory thing, but it is
Yeah.
recommended for all travel, no matter where you're going.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
use that how you will. CDC recommends it for all travel.
Hmm.
Up to you. I have once
Gotcha.
had a typhoid vaccine many years ago. I have not updated it. Yes.
Okay.
So up to you.
Okay.
I
Gotcha.
would update it. I just live somewhere where it's not done.
It's $170.
Yeah. And it's like,
Mm.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Good for
Yeah. I've had typhoid also. It wasn't terrible, but I had a mild typhoid. I wouldn't use my experience to deter yourself if you want it.
she had
Mild
just a
Very
touch
mild.
typhoid.
of typhoid, just a
Just a
smidge.
touch. Unwashed produce. It happens to the best of
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Okay. That's good to know.
Um,
Yeah.
fantastic. Any
Hmm.
other?
Hey, how long did you say the bike riding was per?
Usually it's done in like 30 minutes to an hour increments. I would say like plan when you're getting on the bike to be on it for about an hour, but the furlongs, the Furgons are always with you. So you would be able to stop at any point really if that is something that you're like, I've had enough.
Mm-hmm.
But it's usually about an hour at a time. And then people load the bikes up and then ride. So a lot of times what can happen is they could say like, hey, we're gonna have lunch in an hour, and they'll like kick you out of the car, you get on your bikes and you can like ride up to meet them at lunch kind of a situation. Like in a
Mm-hmm.
fun way. In a
Mm-hmm.
fun we're kicking you out of the car kind of way.
Okay. But mostly it's like a road trip sort of journey across the Gobi. Okay, got it. And this is
Yes.
just to kind
Uh,
of stretch your legs and so on and so forth.
Yes, it's an excuse to get out and move your body on your long journey across the Gobi. And one thing I would like to call attention to, it just is a lot of times when people hear the Gobi Desert in their mind, they're picturing the Sahara Desert. And this is not the Sahara Desert. So just in your mind, like if you have a picture of like these massive like orange sand dunes, that's not the Gobi. And so just set your expectation that this is often much of the land is flat grassland, is what it is to the naked eye, but it is, you know, one of the largest deserts in the world. So just so you go into it with the right expectation, there should be a chance where you should have a chance to see some small sand dunes on one of the days, but it's more of a exception than the rule when you are experiencing the Gobi Desert. Just so you know.
Okay.
Yes. Any other follow-up questions? You don't have to know now. As Julie said, we're going to start a WhatsApp group chat, so you'll have access to us if these questions come up that you think of. You can drop them in there so you can all see the question, all see the answer. So you will definitely, this is not your last chance, but.
Cool.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
Well, thanks so
Fantastic.
much, y'all, for letting us help plan this awesome adventure. And we look forward to supporting you every step of the way. And you'll have wonderful guides that are already assigned, so we can include information about them in the email as well.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Well, thank you guys. And thank you, Nicole, for
Yes.
jumping on at 4 a.m.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you.
What I do.
Yep.
Of course. Well, happy birthday to the birthday girls, and love that you guys plan this, and all your friends get to experience it too. Love
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
It's awesome.
Well,
Yeah.
have a great time. It was nice meeting you all.
Thanks.
Bye. Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.